you are, as creative as you are, you better keep your light on. When y'all turned on them lights in this sanctuary, it confirmed for me that this word was right, that God was waiting for you to hold up your light even while the nation is getting dark. Those of y'all who are from the suburbs, those of y'all that come from a gated community, those of you who live out yonder, you ain't gonna understand this example. But when I used to live with my grandmother in the projects of New York, y'all ain't saying nothing. I discovered something, that roaches only start running when you turn the lights on. As long as the lights are out, they gonna be comfortable eating your cereal. Y'all ain't saying nothing, climbing in your cupboard. But when you turn the light on, all of the roaches gotta start moving. I came to give a warning. Elon Musk, the light is getting ready to come on. Donald Trump, the light is getting ready to come on. JD Vance, the light is getting ready to come on. MAGA, the light is getting ready to come on. Welcome, because the roaches will check in, but they won't check out. The lights are coming on. And God said, because you waited, I'm going to give you double exposure. For everything that you've been through, you ought to be giving God glory. I'm about to get double for my trouble because he took all of my negative. There's some people in the room that'll be honest enough to acknowledge, I got developed in the dark. It wasn't when things were going well. It was in dark places of my life that I really developed to see who God was in my life. That was the first time the earth went dark. The second time it got dark is when God punished Pharaoh for oppressing his people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting dark in America because Kilmar Garcia is still in jail when he's committed no crimes, but they are trying to set a precedent to incarcerate civilians. Y'all better be careful because they're building jails right now in El Salvador, and they're trying to raise a standard that you don't even have to go through due process. And please know that while it may be our Latino brothers and sisters today, very well next on the chopping block will be brothers and sisters in this room. It's dark in America. When Harvard University is under imminent threat for trying to raise a generation to think freely. It's dark in America when the senators don't seem to have a spine and the judges are being held like jesters. It's dark in America when the Secretary of Defense has now labeled that if you have razor bumps, you will be discharged from the military, when 99% of those with razor bumps are black men. It is dark in America, but I need you to understand that you are the light of the earth. It don't matter how dark it is, let your light so shine before men and before women that they may see your good works. I'm in one of the most controversial facilities in South America. And soon thereafter, it was discovered that in fact, he was not illegally here. And as a consequence, the Supreme Court directed the administration to return him back home because of the 179 they rounded up. He, in fact, was the wrong man. Ladies and gentlemen, people will try to put you in boxes because you don't fit in their circle. You don't match the profile. Just because you don't have a degree, don't think for a moment that I'm somebody's dummy. Because I'm quiet, it doesn't mean I don't have something to say. I'm an introvert, but I'll still meet you outside. My job title doesn't speak to the breadth of my talent. My car doesn't tell you where I'm going. And just because I was brought up in abject poverty, it doesn't mean I'll settle for minimum wage. You got the wrong one. Look at your neighbor, tell him you got the wrong one. Look at the person on the other side, say, I'm only going to tell you this once. You got the wrong one. Don't raise your voice at me. Don't walk up to me trying to giggle when you was gossiping about me. Don't try to be slick in the mouth. Don't play in my face and then try to borrow something out of my hand. I don't remind you of anybody. You can't compare me to anybody, and you'll never replace me with anybody. Whatever you did in handling them that way, don't handle me reckless. You got the wrong one. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the conclusion that the centurion soldier came to standing at the bottom of the cross. He yells out in verse 46 of Luke, the 23rd chapter, because it was high noon, and all of a sudden the entire earth went dark. It's high noon, and without warning, the entire earth went dark. There was no natural reason for the occurrence. Good Friday is during the Feast of Passover, which is always during a full moon. Furthermore, an eclipse does not last for 3 hours, it lasts for 3 minutes. People don't know you can go dark at the drop of a dime. I can go weeks without texting. Not taking calls does not mean that I am in crisis. Don't think you know my life because you watch my social media page. There are only 2 other times in recorded history where the entire earth went dark. The first time is in Genesis chapter 1, when the earth was formless and empty and darkness covered the earth, and then God said, "Let there be." I wanted to remind you that whenever it goes dark, God is about to create something. You didn't hear what I just said. Whenever it goes dark, God is about to create something. Gen Z, Alpha generation, you don't even understand this example. Ask your mama when you get home.